So, but generally, we're going to talk about the expansion ideas, and obviously, there's apparently roughly about 3 teams, is what I'm hearing, 3 cities that could be coming in the next 2 years.
Right.
I for one feel like we're going to get an 8th team in 2020, and then more in 2021. What say are you?
I would say those are good odds.
Good
Those
odds.
are good odds. Yeah, those
Yeah.
are good odds. I can't elaborate any further than that, other than I think that the expansion group that's working with potential investors, they're doing their due diligence. They're making sure that the right group of people are in, and these things take time. I mean, look at David Beckham.
Yeah.
And if we go to the MLS, it's still not official yet. That
6 years.
So yeah, 6 years. So I can tell you, I was naive. I thought I'm working on some stuff, and I thought personally that we could get it done in like 6, 7, 8 months because we had everything in mind. And things change, and you're going back and forth, so it could be complicated. So I'm still working with my group, and hopefully something will come out of this. We're not giving up. We want it to get done, and God's willing, we'll get it done. I know the league is they're doing their due diligence, because whoever they bring into the league, they want to make sure that they're 100% ready to back up everything from a financial perspective and everything else that is needed to make a franchise successful in the local communities. And they're not playing around. And that's the way it ought to be. If the league is going to be successful, you have to bring in folks that are capable to make it happen, not just for a year, but for the long haul. And that could be 10, 15 years. And that's what they're looking for. And kudos for them for having that kind of attitude and mentality, because the league can only get stronger when we have stability all the way through with every club.
Yeah. And then is there, from what you could tell us, is there like a certain end date? Because I just feel like it's kind of, at this point, we're so close, even though it's just the start of the off season. I feel like it's almost so close to the start of 2020. I feel like it's almost not a possibility, just because it's like only like we're 5-6 months away.
Yeah. No, it can be done, right? It can be done, because
Right.
we don't know how much has already been put forth. Remember, there's an expansion team that are working with these groups, and they've been working with them for several months now. So for something to happen, it's not going to be happening in just a matter of 3 or 4 or 5 months. And there's 7 or 8 months that they've been working with these groups prior to this happening. So they're well organized, and I've spoken to some folks in that realm, and they know what they're doing. These are guys that have been doing this stuff for a while, and they're very, very skilled at what they're doing. So when they bring in a group, they're going to be a group that's going to be in it and really support the league and support the communities and do all the things that a successful franchise needs to have in place. So I'm not bothered by that. And I think the fans out there shouldn't be thinking, wow, if they're not doing it now, or if they come in now, they only have 5 months. No, they will be, they're hitting the road running for the most part.
Oh, that's good to hear. Just because I was a bit worried that maybe if we get a team in before December the 1st announcement, if you maybe do an expansion draft or something, you only got December, January to kind of build it. February, you're already getting ready for preseason.
Yeah.
And then March, April is preseason. And then
No,
with
but
that,
your logic. I mean, very logical.
yeah,
Very, very logical, and that has to be put into place as well. Very logical. The likelihood of if they have not been working with the expansion group team for the past several months, the likelihood of a team just coming in and being ready for 2020 now, the odds are not good. I can tell you that. They will probably be ready for the 2021 season.
Yeah, that makes a little bit better sense. And it's just you don't want to rush these
You
things,
don't
right?
know. And
You
I
want
don't
this
want
to be good.
And if things were to happen with my group, I do not want to rush. Just to say we have a franchise in a certain place that I would love to have a franchise, because I think Quebec should have 2 franchises. One in the greater Montreal area and one in Quebec City. And there are other areas in Quebec that can do it as well. But it's all about doing your due diligence and making sure that the right people are in place and doing exactly what needs to be done to make it successful. And that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Not because you have resources. there's more to it than just resources. There's the fan base, there's
Yeah.
the location, there's future stadiums. I mean, it's a lot.
The economics of it all, yeah.
Yes, yeah. I
It's
mean,
huge.
you can have the group, and there can be other things that are going on behind the scenes with the group that we have to wait a couple of months before we get to this point and do all that stuff. So there's a lot of moving parts, and I think for the most part, the CPL expansion group team that I've gotten to know, these guys are really good. They're really
Yeah.
good, and they're not going to put a group in that's not ready to be successful.
Yeah, no, and I think honest to God, kudos to the league just starting, because what a lot of people don't even think about, and I don't really think about until maybe a little bit recently, is honestly like Canada, the Canadian economy hasn't been in the best of spots recently. The Canadian dollar isn't that strong. So for us to start a brand new business, a brand new league like this that's across the country,
Mm-hmm.
in really a span of 24 months or so, and the entire time the economy hasn't been that great, the Canadian dollar hasn't been strong. That's fantastic. I mean,
it's incredible. It's
you know what I
incredible.
mean?
Kudos to Scott Mitchell and
Yeah.
David Clanahan and all the staff people that have done a phenomenal job in promoting this game. Some of the contracts and deals that they've made in such a short period of time. Listen, I was in the MLS when it kind of started. It's like 5-6 years into it when I came back from Europe, and nothing like the CPL. I'm telling you right now, night and day. And look at where the MLS is today.
Yeah.
And now, mind you, the economies are two different economies and things of that nature. And you have the population and all of that stuff. But I really think that the CPL is going to be successful. And,
Yeah.
and people have to be a little bit patient and understand that MLS struggled mightily
For first 20 years.
for the first how many years? Mightily. I know. The stadiums that they were playing in, it was brutal. I was like, whoa. And when you come to the CPL and you see the things that they're doing and how first class it is, and you're getting to see games. MLS, you weren't seeing games on television when the MLS first started.
Mm-hmm.
CPL signed contracts where they're going to be heavily involved with international matches. So I'm telling you, I'm very pleased and I'm very hopeful for this league because we need it. Canadian players need to have a place where they can work their craft and be successful and move on if need be. But at least they know they have a home and they have a place to develop and get better. And this is what the CPL is providing. And kudos to everyone that's been involved over the years to make this possible. I'm honored to be associated with so many of these great people, Canadian patriots, come up and stepped up when a lot of people were barking at them. And they said, no, this is a league for Canadians, by Canadians, and we're going to make it happen. And they made it happen. How many people can say that? They want to do something big and bold. These guys have done it. We should all be proud of it, and we should all. Yes, we can get frustrated at certain things like the trophy and things, but those are minor things compared to the magnitude of what this league brings to Canada for Canadian players in general.